All right, and we are live. Welcome to the Field to the Deal podcast. It's week 9, Broncos versus the Ravens. Nevermore. Broncos are 5-3. Do we need to apologize if we beat the Ravens too? CU's on a bye this week. Travis Hunter's probably getting plays in somewhere. MLB season's over, Scott. Sorry. World Series actually had more viewership in Japan than it did in the United States. Maybe they should have played more political ads for them too.
That's all right.
I did not know that. Where'd you find that out, Rob?
I didn't know that either.
It was AP Newswire. I'll send you guys the link. So, but I mean, barely. And then and Major League Baseball actually also on Monday night beat Monday Night Football by a hair. So, Scott, baseball may be coming back.
Wait.
Scott,
Wait.
You know what? The thing that was cool about it was it was L.A. and New York. You know.
Yeah.
And honestly, during the season, two of the best teams the whole time. You know, so you got a good matchup. You know, in baseball, it's a lot of streaks. You know, you get hot, you get rolling. It's like Judge is going to be the MVP. You know, and all of a sudden they're making fun of him for the first 3 games, striking out as much as he did. That's part of baseball. It's not like football. You know, you strike out once a week and you dominate physically. I mean, baseball is a unique sport, and it was cool to see.
Trevor's son plays baseball.
Cool.
My son plays baseball. He's at IMG Academy, and he's big enough and strong enough, hits the bar hard enough to play pro baseball.
Cool.
But the thing that I said to him, I said, Trevor, there's never been a good baseball player in the history of baseball. It's never happened. Any sport, imagine a quarterback, he completes only 30% of his passes.
Correct.
You don't play quarterback. So every baseball player is bad. So swing away, my friend.
No, absolutely.
So let me just introduce Trevor. The reason Trevor's on is he was a Pro Bowler for both the Ravens and the Broncos. And Scott, I want to hear your scouting report on Trevor. All right.
I can still remember it.
Go ahead.
Stud. Just draft him wherever you want to draft him. You can play him at 1 technique. You can play him at 3. You can play him at 5. I don't give a crap. Just draft him.
He played when I first saw him, and Trevor, you can explain this. He was playing 7 technique at Clemson.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I scouted him.
I played linebacker. I played linebacker at Michigan. So that has got too big. Yeah, I was a linebacker. I was an outside linebacker. I was like a part safety. I played like 7 yards off the ball.
I'm from Ohio, but I grew up in Toledo, so we were more Michigan fans up there because they're closer to Ann Arbor than Columbus.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Trevor, you were a hell of a player, buddy. Hell of an athlete.
I appreciate it, boss.
The thing that's cool about it, at that time, I was just kind of get rolling in scouting, and people were kind of worried about some Clemson players, their background, character, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm sitting there, and I didn't do you on a school call, but I did it in the draft room with all the scouts. Yeah. I'm like, damn, this big son of a gun can move. He's got some length. He's got some strength. I kind of like this guy. And then all of a sudden they start talking about you, what kind of guy you were. And it was really cool.
Trevor,
I appreciate it.
I'm doing some quick background on you. So also, like, I'm a big Ben Roethlisberger fan, and you playing for the Ravens when you did. It looks like you probably tried to hit Big Ben a few times. How hard was Big Ben to take down?
I tell people all the time, it's not in pro football, what separates good from bad is not strength and speed. It's balance and flexibility.
Okay.
So people said, "Oh, Big Ben," and he wasn't that big and he wasn't that strong, but what he was extremely balanced, right? And he could his body could torque and spin in ways that most quarterbacks couldn't, and he was really flexible. So when you'd hit him, it wasn't like hitting maybe like hitting Justin Herbert, which is kind of like hitting something hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was like hitting a trampoline.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It was like you sink into him, and he just kind of like rubber band off of you. It was weird, man, because he was hard to tackle, not because of his strength. Strength had nothing to do with it. He just did it. So my son was also a wrestler. So my son wrestled in 8th grade, and I remember the wrestling coach coming up to me one day, and he says, "Your son, if he doesn't want to hit the ground, he won't hit the ground." I don't care who he wrestles against. If he doesn't want to hit the ground, he's not going down. It's balance. It's not strength, right? So that's really what it was. It wasn't like he was just, his body was built like he didn't lift weights, but his flexibility and his balance made him impossible to tackle.
That's
So,
that's some interesting.
Trevor, let me ask you this: you were on 2 Super Bowl teams here in Denver. Which team was better? The best Ravens team you were on with Ray Lewis and all those guys, or the best Broncos team?
Wow.
Peter came out swinging.
That's
Go ahead,
tough.
throw some names out. Who was on both teams?
Yeah, so I think the defense we had the Ravens was a lot better, a lot meaner, a lot faster, a lot more physical, and we were young, and they were younger, right? So we had it was really impossible to block me and Bart and Terrell Suggs and Adalius Thomas. We all had 10 sacks. I had 13. Adalius had 11. Bart had 10, and Sizzle, I think Terrell had 10. So we had 4 guys in double-digit sacks, right, for that Ravens defense. Our best Ravens defense. The Broncos offense would and nobody was stopping that offense. You know what I mean? So if I combine the two, then I have an undefeated football team. But when we went to the second Super Bowl, we were 14-2, and the Ravens team I was on went 13-3.
But you had Neil, Steve Atwater,
Alfred,
Mosley, Alfred.
Yeah. And we weren't a great defense. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. We were playing with the lead so much, like it didn't matter. You know what I mean? But in Baltimore, we had to play defense because the offense was good enough with Steve in there to kind of get us a lead. And if we got a lead of 7 points, we were like, okay, we can't let up the lead. The Ravens defense was better.
So Trevor, what was besides CJ Anderson, who's probably the toughest running back to take down?
What's happening, TP?
You all right, man? You all right?
I'm good. No, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Good, man. I don't know. All them, any of the fast ones. You know what I mean? I remember
Did you ever try to get Barry?
I didn't play against Barry.
Okay.
The one time I would have played against him my rookie year, I was hurt.
Okay.
What was the kid for Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes
was a bear.
One of my favorites.
LaDainian Tomlinson was an absolute stud.
He was a dog.
Peyton Hillis when he had that great year in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Jesus Christ, man! It's like trying to wrestle an alligator. Like it was bad. He was so big and fast. Huh?
Curtis Martin, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, he said LT. Curtis Martin, another one. What
about the bus?
But Ray Lewis handled Jerome, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. That was Ray's problem. That wasn't mine at all.
I didn't know you were such a good delegator, Trevor. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I was like, you take that. I'll deal with the quarterback. You deal with the
outside of Priest, another running back I love. People don't talk about, give too much credit for. Charlie Gardner. I love Charlie.
Yeah, you know who else too? Fred Taylor. Fred T.
Fred Taylor, yeah, Freddie T. That's another one. Freddie T.
Jesus Christ, man.
Freddie T. a dog.
Jesus Christ. Fred used to, man, you better wake up. He was like, oh my God, I got to deal with Fred Taylor tomorrow. Yes, he was the size and speed and just anger and just better than everybody else. Some players are just better than everybody else. Fred T. was that guy.
Hey, Peter, we're surrounded by a lot of Super Bowl rings today.
Yeah, right? So, Trevor, man. Ravens, who do you root for, Ravens, Broncos?
Right now, it's kind of neat. It's kind of neither, right? So, because I have nobody in those teams anymore. So, if I had friends on the team, that'd be a little different. But it's not I still live in Baltimore, and, I still do stuff for the Ravens, and I still do stuff for the Broncos. So, I'm so far removed from. I went to the Super Bowl thing, and I talked with Russell Wilson, and I talked with Sean Payton. My son is bigger than Russell Wilson. They have a picture of them next to each other, and I'm like, I didn't know this man was this small.
So Scott, his son reminds you of in baseball, Prince Fielder.
Nah, really?
Yeah, he's
wow.
Let's go Tigers.
If my son decided to play football and play tailback, I mean, he's 240. He might run a 4.5. He's athletic. He's more athletic than I ever was, and I was fast. He is explosive. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Fast and explosive are two different things.
Crazy.
Anyway, so when I went to the Broncos Super Bowl thing, it was really great to see that because they have a kid that played. They have a kid that was in the practice squad who went to my son's high school, who I know, right? And then the defensive line coach for the Broncos at that time was a teammate of mine, the Jets. And he was like a young dude in our locker room. He was like the young dude in the defensive line that carried the pads and shit like that. And all of a sudden, he's the defensive line coach. I was so proud of him, man. Like I felt like I knew everybody, and it was really weird, man. So I root for both teams that they don't play against each other. I'll tell you that. And I think the Broncos are a lot better. That Bo Nix kid, he's the real deal, man. They got one. They have a.
As Trevor's to say around here is, we believe. We believe.
Yeah, you should. You should. He's the fact that team is 5-3 is pretty remarkable.
Hey, the
And
Ravens quarterback's not bad either now.
No, he's not bad.
He should stick with the quarterback thing. He could be a good quarterback if he sticks with it, I think.
He's got a
Yeah,
chance.
he might. Yeah, don't put him at punt. Don't put him at punt returner. Let him play quarterback.
So yeah, that's actually a question. That's a question I had for you guys, especially Trevor. This is interesting having you on today too. But with Scott, when Lamar Jackson was coming out, there was a lot of big head NFL guys were saying he's got to play receiver or do something else, and he ended up being the 32nd pick in the first round by the Ravens to be quarterback. It's like, when you guys are evaluating someone like Lamar Jackson, like he's got to like add extra pages to the scout sheet because you're just not sure how to evaluate him, right?
Well,
what am I?
Yeah. But the thing is, at that time, it was just starting to switch over to the spread system. And, when I first started scouting, when you saw an athlete like that, a very good athlete, speed, quickness, scored touchdowns, is he a receiver? Is he a DB? Is he this or that or that? And then he came in, and struggled some a little bit early, not bad, but just accuracy wise, is he really a quarterback? Because everybody wanted the pocket passer.
Yeah, he wasn't the Thor that he is now. That's a fact.
Yeah. But the thing is, the game's changed so much now that it doesn't even matter. But back then, people were like, well, what is he? Is he a receiver? Is he a corner?
I thought he did something brilliant. I read something. I remember seeing this. He was like, I'm not running the 40. He's
Correct.
like, I'm fast. He's like, I'm fast. Watch the tape. I'm fast.
Correct.
I was like, wow, my man.
Yeah,
was
because
awesome.
Well,
It was
also
awesome.
him running the 40 gives some of those
ammunition.
NFL GMs the ammunition to be like, look,
You're
you are a receiver, or you are.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
So he gets out of that
He
by
said,
not
watch
running the
the tape.
40.
He said, watch the tape. I'm fast.
Correct.
So
He
Trevor,
said 40 times. He said fast.
so Trevor, you played for Rex Ryan as your defense coordinator
Mhm.
in both, and then up with the Jets. How do you stop Bo Nix, rookie quarterback who's doing well, and how do you stop Lamar Jackson, MVP?
Rex could stop Bo Nix. So I watched Rex confuse Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in back-to-back weeks, completely befuddle both of them.
How? What do
Tom
you
Brady
do?
had. I think what they were doing, I didn't really understand it, but I think they were, while the play was running, they switched from zone to man.
Mhm.
As the play was
Post snap. Yeah, post snap.
It was post
Like
snap.
post snap. Like the play is going
post snap, right?
Yeah,
So
post snap. That's interesting.
If receiver X runs a post, we're all playing zone. If he runs a comeback, we're all playing man. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And Tom Brady did not know which way the blitz was coming from. I looked in his eyes. He had no clue who was coming from where or where to throw the ball. And I remember after the Indianapolis game, same thing. He had Peyton Manning completely befuddled. And Rex and Peyton are friends. So after the game, the buses are under the stadium. Peyton and Rex are having a conversation down after they're both dressed, all right? And Peyton's having a beer, and Peyton looks completely confused, and he's asking Rex, "What do y'all do?" And Rex kind of told him. And I remember looking at the bus and watching them have a conversation for like 10, 15 minutes, as if they were on the same team. So
I remember one thing, Trevor, you told me one time about Rex Ryan's defense is he didn't care where you started as long as you were in the right place when the ball was snapped.
When the ball was snapped, he did not care if you had he didn't care if you had your hand on the ground. He didn't care. He was like, "Here's your work. Make sure you do that when the ball snapped." And it was wild.
So you guys were
Lamar
just running
Jackson,
around like scrambled eggs on toast. But
right? And then all of a sudden, we all snap in. And the thing is, with Lamar, I think what I think he would have done is play option defense. You have quarterback, you have running back. That's it. He'd have made it simple, but he'd confuse Bo Nix out of his gore. I mean, right now he would. I mean, Bo Nix would eventually get to that point where he understands some of that stuff. But
But
Rex would
not
have
yet, not as a rookie, not right
no,
now.
hell
Don't
no.
be.
I don't. He'd have been thinking out the side of his ears. He'd have
Yeah.
smoke coming out his ears. Believe me.
Trevor,
He
as
did
my
it to Tom
grandpa,
Brady.
as my grandpa would say, he wouldn't know. He would make it so Bo wouldn't know whether to shit or go blind.
I if it's stuffed or pumped, I don't know what's going on. It's like I'm telling you, I watched Tom Brady. I can see in his eyes, he looked confused. I was like, golly, I don't know what y'all doing back there to this man, but
Speaking
I witnessed it.
speaking of defense, the Broncos have a tough stretch of games here versus potential playoff teams. Week 9 versus the Ravens. Can the Broncos go 1-0 this week, CJ? Is the Broncos D good enough to hold up the Ravens O?
It's tough, man. You got to stop the run, which is the Broncos defense right now. It's the weakness, stopping the run.
You can't stop the run. You can't stop the run. Move on. If you can't stop the run,
22 in the backfield
is
a strong cat. Then 2, if you do successful stop the run, like it's not just the run, like it's the run with Derrick Henry, but that run style and how they give the ball to Derrick Henry is completely different from the run style of how they design runs for Lamar Jackson on top of his scrambles. That's what makes the Ravens tough to beat. And he throwing the ball extremely well. So
yeah, but everybody's running wide open. Like if you go to a game, if you go see it live in the stadium,
yeah,
when he throws the ball, there's nobody around the receivers.
Right. And they just added another receiver who can play.
For 10 yards in either direction, there's nobody around them. And I'm going, how in the hell is that possible? Are y'all not playing with and I guess if you play man defense, they run the ball. You play zone defense, they pretend to run the play action it's him. And then they put they have a 300-pound fullback. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then they throw him the ball. It's like what do you do with this?
But to answer your question though, Rob, I think when they come out in their 22 personnel, I think VJ obviously goes big and matches up, right, and go all out for selling a run. To be honest, I think VJ beats VJ. I think VJ pressure way more this week than he's ever had, right, and try to have a spy on Lamar as he can. But at least the pressure, right, let Lamar see man to man and if you're gonna beat us with your arm, beat us with your arm, right? So knowing that the back end with Surtain and Riley Moss, if they can cover. That's kind of the dice you roll.
The problem is when you can cover, but if Lamar breaks contain.
Yeah, if he breaks contain and man-to-man, good night, right? There's nothing you can do.
Good night. Because if you're covering, he's running. And if you run at him, he's throwing the ball to what? I mean, they are wide open.
Now,
and I think the only way to beat the Ravens, to be honest, is what Miami did a few years ago, and full out blitz them every play.
Well, they were confused. So I could tell you that. I was confused. I'm rarely I'm confused. But what made Miami successful in that with Brian Flores having his double mugs package, guys like Juwan Holland, right? He had Byron Smith over there. Like they can play safety and corner. So usually when you see like safeties or linebackers on tight ends or running backs, you usually think man to man. But when you have those guys who can interchange, right? They can guard your number 3 receiver. And you think in his zone, but it's man because they have a corner background. I think that's what made. I think those things. I think that makes it tough. That made it tough on him that night. That was a good game to watch. That was a good game to watch.
That was a beating because also, I know for a fact I know somebody that works in the building, and I remember seeing them after the Miami game, and he was like, "Our offense has no checks. It is call it and run it." So. If you shift and we're running a ball, running to the left, and you shift over there, there was no call to run back the other way, and it was like Lamar make something happen. It's either run the play or Lamar do something. He said there was no checks.
That's Greg Roman. That's great.
There was no checks. It was like And we said we knew they were blitzing, but we had no way to check out of the place. And they said they blitzed us. They full blitzed every down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every
And then I think
down.
another thing, and he does a great job of this. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick does a good job of muddle rushing. He also does a good job of pressuring one way, making you come another way, and someone being there to make the sack. I think watching Bill Belichick versus the Cam Newtons and different scramble type quarterbacks can give you an idea of how to contain and help you play that, even if that's not in your system. You just put a package. You put a package in for it. Bill does an awesome. I've seen it live. Bill does an awesome job with that.
Yeah, the only way to beat the Ravens, to stop that offense, you have to kind of live on the sword, the razor's edge, and just we're gonna blitz them, and if they beat us, they beat us.
All right.
What we're not going to do is stand back here and watch.
You can't stand back and just let them do it.
No, hell no.
It sounds like this is a Peter Schaefer game of control the ball if you have the time of possession. It seems like how you beat that offense is like Peyton's old offenses. You just don't let them on the field. Run the ball, have 8-minute drives.
Yeah, their defense is not very good. The Ravens' defense is really, really poor.
They're not what they were a year ago.
No, they're not.
A year ago,
the coordinator's 28 years old. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, Pete, you slipping, Pete. Hey, Pete, I know more football than this 28-year-old for sure.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. My agent is, man. Hey, I might. Hey, get fired on live TV now.
I remember him as a player like 4 years ago. He was an animal, and then he broke his neck. He got hurt, so he started coaching, and then 3 years later, his defensive coordinator, and they can't even line up right. This is bad.
Oh no! So, Peter, I had a question for you with this last week. It's the trade talk NFL season. Deontay Johnson played for the Panthers, now with the Ravens. They basically just swapped some back end draft picks for him. There's rumors that the Broncos were in on this deal, from what I heard, but that Carolina kind of said no because we ran up the score on Carolina. Do people get that emotional in trades?
No. Ask Scott that.
Scott, absolutely not. Absolutely
in a trade, Scott would trade, for a Taliban soldier if he could help block Trevor Price.
Yeah. And I trade my wife with it.
And nobody could block me.
You give me football points and we're good to go.
I have to get back to my job of trying to take out Steven Spielberg.
Wait, hold up, Trevor. Before you go, one thing. Trevor's freshman year. Trevor missed a game in Buffalo because he got snowed in his house.
Yeah.
Right?
They didn't come pick you up?
I wasn't playing. They were like, get here if you can. I was like, how? 7 feet of snow outside my garage. They usually
got the snowmobiles. I seen those. They usually pick them up.
Hey, just so you know, Trevor, real quick, I got stuck. I was in Virginia at the time as the Redskins. I was a GM for the Redskins. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get to the Senior Bowl. Same thing. We had like 7-8 feet of snow. And they brought over 3 trucks from the facility to try to get me out.
Yeah.
They couldn't move it. They couldn't move it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible, man.
Well, and I was watching them, and I started doing I had my suitcase on my back. And I started army crawling across the snow.
Oh no!
And I kept thinking, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die out here.
To get to the Senior Bowl to watch a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I'm done.
Hey, Trevor, thanks for joining us, Trevor.
Trevor, thank you for the time.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime.
Take care, Trevor.
See you guys. Bye.
RTP.
All right, so now I've got something for you guys. The Tennessee Titans are first in the league in defense yards allowed and 30th in the league in points allowed. How do you explain it?
Short fields.
That's the best way to explain it.
Correct.
Turnovers. Where they rank on turnovers?
Let me answer this, Peter. All you guys, see how good you are. Who's leading the NFL in sacks right now?
Denver Broncos.
Nope.
No.
Nope. As a team. Don't pull it up on the internet. It'll blow your mind.
The Jets had 8 sacks yesterday.
Yeah, it's not the Jets.
They ain't the Jets. Giants is high sack leaders.
There you go. It's the Giants.
Giants high sack leaders. That's
it's the Giants.
To be sacking a quarterback and losing that's tough.
Well, and think about the thing about Lawrence, he's playing inside. He's leading the league in sacks.
Yeah, he got 11 sacks, don't he? Like 10 or 11 sacks. That's what I'm saying. That's why I threw the Giants up there because I know he's leading the league in
No,
sacks.
you got it.
How many times have they played the Saints already? Wait, no.
No, he's a son of a bitch now.
Oh no, that's
beyond.
play.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years too now. It's not just 1 year.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah,
I didn't catch him. He was a youngin, but I didn't catch him. But he can play.
Hey, speaking of Week 9 though, here with the going back to the Broncos and Ravens this weekend, we are as the Broncos 9.5 point underdogs going into Baltimore with the over under at 46.5. So this is like we're going into a stretch where the Broncos are actually playing playoff teams for at least the next 3 weeks. And is Bo Nix going to get exposed today? Is now like after playing a few subpar teams, are the Ravens going to expose Bo Nix?
I wouldn't say exposed. I mean, you still got Sean Payton on the other side of like calling the plays. I respect Sean and who Sean is and what he's done. Right? I mean, it's down to be a good game. If anything, it's can the Broncos sustain drives where VJ in the defense is not on the field all day? That's the real question. Because if VJ is on the field all day, it might start off good, but if they're on the field all day, they will get worn down. It's just Ravens football at that point. Like the Ravens are gonna run the football. That's what they do. Right? Mm-hmm. Todd Monken has some pass game stuff, which is pretty cool too. But Todd knows, right? Between 8 and 22, like we find ways, and then we have these other weapons on the outside that can play too. So, it's really up to how Sean calls the game, how Bo managed the game, and not turn the ball
over. I agree 100%. The thing about it is, the thing that's cool with about Baltimore's offense is the fact that you got many weapons. You got a running back that can run the crud out of it. You got a couple receivers that are damn good players. You got a quarterback that can throw it or run it. On defense, VJ's in a tough spot. I mean, like, okay, what are we going to do here? We're going to blitz. We're going to sit back. We're going to play zone. We're going to play safe. Prevent stuff. And it's tough. And young quarterback, as you guys are all aware, and you already said it, it's tough. Until you've seen certain things, you don't know certain things. Then once you see them, then you get them. Hopefully, the good ones do. And then you understand. Okay, next time I see this look, I'm going to see this. Boom, boom, boom. But heading to Baltimore, as you're well aware, I'm sure CJ you probably played there. It's a tough place.
It's a tough place to play.
Tough. Yeah.
Real tough. Peter, are you allowed to make a prediction on this game?
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen with the Broncos Ravens?
I think the team with the most points at the end of the day is going to win.
Well, you can tell the guys that still have their foot in the NFL on this podcast. I'm not going to try to piss anybody off. Maybe just rile them up just a little bit.
I think what everybody said is going to happen. It really the whole game comes down to whether Bo Nix can avoid turnovers. Really what's hurt them is turnovers in the red zone. That's just so demoralizing and defeating. And if they could avoid that like he has the last couple of weeks, they're going to be fine. And they've got to find a way to smash Derrick Henry in the mouth early and often.
Yeah, because if you get him early, he'll stop running hard. That's facts.
He runs hard, but he's not twitchy like Joe Mixon or.
Nah.
But he runs angry.
He do. When he get going, he hard to stop when he get going. If you get him before he get going, it's good. I think the trade that Baltimore made was strong. I think they're seeing a lot more man-to-man coverage. So they, Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and now adding another short, twitchy receiver to beat man-to-man, right? So I think they're seeing those things because you can't play zone against Lamar Jackson for 2 reasons. A, he can take off. B, he can shred it through the zones. Or C, if I know you're playing zone, we can run the ball down your throat so you can't protect all the gaps.
Here's my question.
It's a tough challenge for VJ.
Here's my question. The Ravens are so unstoppable. How'd the Browns beat them last weekend?
The defense is not that good. The defense is not that good. The defense is not that good.
How'd they only put up 24 points on the Browns?
24 points in the NFL is a lot, big dog.
How they only put up 20? They're unstoppable. They're running wide open. They're running wide open.
24 points is a lot, big dog.
But the Browns,
if you put up 24 points, I'm just telling you in our locker rooms, if we score 24 points, we expect to win the football game. That's a lot of points in the National Football League.
I get that, but if they're so unstoppable, how'd the Browns beat them? That's like he didn't. I mean, Lamar didn't throw any picks that game. He got sacked 3 times, which is the season high for him on getting sacked. But he's probably making some of those. I think he was trying to make plays at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the defense gave it up. The defense is not out there. Baltimore, for once in their lifetime right now, is not known for defense.
No, that is a strange thought, isn't it?
Like for once ever in the organization of I've been alive in Baltimore, it's always been led by the defense.
Correct.
This year, it's not led by the defense. It's truly not led by the defense.
Correct.
Which is like the world is crashing in Baltimore right now. They're like, what? Like we're not a defensive football team?
Yeah, but they're so well coached that they're still winning though, and they have.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Harbaugh is awesome,
and they do have Lamar Jackson,
which 2-time MVP goes a long way.
It
Good
does.
football player goes a long way, but 2-time MVP makes it longer. But that's you want to know how they lost, right? And then Jameis played his ass. Jameis played really well last week.
but again, that's what I've said all along, Scott. When you take a quarterback that hasn't played and you put him out there, it's hard to game plan for him. And that first week or first 2 weeks is a blessing.
There's no tape on him.
Yeah.
I mean that's the key thing. But still,
last time Jameis played was in 2022. He was a Saint. You ain't finna watch the Saints 2022 tape on Jameis during the week.
How many points can the Broncos put up on this Ravens defense?
Scott, finish what you're saying.
yeah. Well, and the thing about Jameis is he's a damn good quarterback.
Mhm.
It's just the turnovers, and it's year in and year out, and that's his issue. I mean, there's a reason why he was what he was in college, reason why he got drafted where he got drafted and what he did in the league. It's just you can't have, as CJ, you can't have turnovers
at all.
It kills you. You're going to lose, And I mean, the son of a gun when he was in Tampa, I think like 4 or 5 games in a row, his first pass was picked off.
He gonna throw it to you,
and they're calling it so he doesn't throw an interception. That happens. You get the first 15.
he finds a way to throw it to you. Not lying. Jameis used to find a way to throw it to you.
He's a confident guy, that's for sure, right?
Scott, so with the whole Lamar Jackson as a GM, do you have this sort of hybrid, unique quarterback, unique talent, generational talent? You have to change what you normally do and who players you bring in, right? And is that easy to do for a GM? Because you guys like that, everything's so boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. No, from a GM standpoint, it's easy because you identify with the coaches, with the head coach. If say he's offensive minded, say it's Mike Holmgren. Okay. Let's say we got Gil Haskell as the OC. And then we got Pat Shurmur as the quarterback coach or Andy Reid as the quarterback coach. You talk to him, you say, okay, how we can make him successful? Because he's the most important guy on the field right now. Okay. He's young. And what do you need? Do you need speed? Do you need quickness? Do you need toughness? Do you need size? Because I'll never forget with Mike Holmgren in Seattle. I think I've already said this on the show before, but with Anquan Bolden. I'm like, Mike, when I was in Seattle with him, I'm like, Mike, he's a really good football player. And he says, I don't need him. I need one guy for this offense with Hasselbeck. One more guy. And I need a speed guy down the field. I need a vertical threat, no matter what. I'm like, okay, well, I get you. And he's like, I don't want Anquan Bolden. He's not a vertical threat at all. And I said, I hear you. But I said, he's a really damn good football player. And don't you want football players on this team? He's like, yeah. And I said, and in my mind, I thought, I hope no one in our division drafts him. Damn, Arizona drafted him. He kicked our ass twice a year.
So what about, with the Ravens, so it really goes back to Ozzie Newsome as a general manager.
100%.
He brought in, you've got a left tackle, big kid from Notre Dame, and then just a bunch of mauling other offensive linemen.
Yep.
And then this year, one thing they bring in Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Well, I think before that, so the growth from Lamar has been great. I think the best thing that happened to Lamar early in the career was Greg Roman, because Greg Roman did the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. And obviously we know Lamar as a better athlete and a better football player than Colin, but they had success with little Harbaugh, right? They had success with little Harbaugh with Colin and Greg Roman. So now Greg Roman's the first couple years. But as Lamar grew as a passer, he outgrows Greg Roman's run-first offense. So now Ozzie finds ways right now. But That's all Lamar. Lamar wanted to be better as a passer. Lamar wanted to be better, right, at the quarterback position, standing in the pocket and throwing the ball. Like, I think that's where the difference between Lamar and Cam Newton. I don't know how much Cam Newton grew outside of Mike Shula's offense, right? And if Cam Newton would have grew outside of Mike Shula's offense, A, I think Cam Newton is still playing in the league today. But B, I think, right, that transition would have helped Cam a lot more. Obviously, Cam's a teammate, so I know that. But I think and Cam had the same mindset, want to be better every day, but Cam's skill set was his skill set. Lamar upped his skill set in the pass game. Now we can go get a guy like Tom Munkin. Now we can go get a guy like Derrick Henry, and now we can run something as close as traditional as what we're seeing, and that's what we're seeing right now. But if it wasn't for Lamar, like if Lamar doesn't have Greg Roman early in his career, I don't know if Lamar is where he's at right now.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever played?
He just wasn't a thrower coming out.
Yeah, no.
So if he would have got with, I mean, outside of Cliff Kingsbury maybe, but if he would have got with, some of the coordinators at that, like a Mike Shanahan at that time, it would have been up and down. Who else was coordinators at that time? McVay at that time was a coordinator before he was a head coach.
McVay was there. Wasn't McVay there in Washington with you, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some of these coordinators who are head coaches now, offensive minded coaches. Matt LaFleur is another one. What's my guy name? He was with Mike. He was with Mike before before McDaniels. Forgot. But I just think if you play in those regular West Coast systems, because that's what it was, I don't know if Lamar is as successful early in his career, year 1, year 2, year 3, just because he wasn't the thrower.
Well,
but once he developed into the better thrower, now the ceiling is blown away.
And the thing is, too, CJ, as you're well aware, all you guys are aware, at that time, the offenses were changing. It started going from run to throw.
Yep.
Now it goes throw to run.
Yeah. It's like spread. Like, there was no RPOs.
Correct.
Back when I played, like very little, like smokes outside.
Correct.
Like true, like read RPO, like that was not in.
I was going to ask if you played with an RPO quarterback, CJ.
Play with Peyton Manning, play with Jared Goff, play with Stafford, played with Cam Newton. Nah, I don't think so.
I was just curious. I was trying to go through the Rolodex in my head. I'm like, I don't think he did, but I think, like I said, I think having Greg Roman helped him in a career. I think Lamar mindset to become a better passer, kind of like Mike Vick, right? Mike Vick mindset to become a better passer. He gets with Andy Reid and boom. But if Mike Vick and Andy Reid links up Mike Vick rookie year, I don't know if Mike Vick is Mike Vick. Mike Vick's still running around. That's all I'm trying to say. Hey, I do have a question for you guys with running quarterbacks. So CJ, Scott, Peter, if you had a guy quarterback runs the ball 2 times in a row, gets a little tired and taps himself out of the game for a little bit. What's the locker room like in there? What's the feeling in the building when a quarterback he had a few running plays in a row and wants to get a breather?
You go, CJ. You go.
Don't ever give nobody your job. Don't do that. Obviously,
or the chance to take your job.
Right.
Right.
This league is a cutthroat business, and I'm not just talking about from Scott and Peter's perspective. As a player, the last thing I want to do is give the backup the opportunity to succeed, because especially in certain situations, if he's succeeding and they winning and it's tough. I mean, and then lie to the media. Like, I was hurt, shoulder or my wrist. I can lie to Scott right now. Like, Scott, CJ, why'd you come out? I felt something in my calf. Like, nothing could have been wrong. I could have been dog tired, but
correct.
I cannot just sit there and say I'm tired and I need to come out when I'm supposed to be the leader of the team. That's tough sledding right there. And I get it, he runs around and all that, but I'm not a fan.
Like, are you taking calls on him, Scott? Like, if an agent's like, hey, we're interested in AR.
Well, let me tell you this, first of all. I've never had a player in my life tap out, ever. And if they do, say you got an injury, say you got something. When you come to the tap out's bullshit, first of all. You're quitting on your team. you know, and the team's fighting for you. Everybody's fighting for you. They got families. They got everything. You stay out there and fight no matter what. And second of all, if you're not smart enough to say, listen, my rib was hurt, or like CJ was saying, my calf was hurt, or whatever. If you're not smart enough to say that, your players, I'm telling you, these players, they live and die every day in the NFL. We're not just talking the starters, we're talking the backups as well. And all of a sudden you're starting quarterbacks tapping out because he's tired. Yeah, no, it would not go over well with me at all. At all. No,
yeah, I think it's a position thing. Low linemen can't do it. Quarterbacks can't do it. Like I've had long runs. I've had long runs and been pulled out. Right? I've had long runs and been pulled out.
Yeah.
But like, you know, sitting there doing this.
It's not your call. Yeah.
Yeah, sitting there doing this.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, no,
because if you're tired and you're the quarterback, you know, like there are times that even as a running back, you must be dog tired when you ain't coming out of the game. It's fourth quarter, whatever. You like what? You got 45 seconds to catch your breath, whatever. Maybe you tell Peyton, hey, why don't we do a pass play?
I've told Peyton that plenty of times. Don't snap it. Don't snap it right now. I've told Peyton that plenty of times as I'm tired. Don't snap it right now. I've also done it where it's like I'm gonna get this run and I'm trusting E knows I'm tired and he's I'm not gonna hit the hole as fast as hard because I'm tired and he's gonna pull me out. But it's just it's that. But I've definitely told Peyton in the backfield, hey, snap it at 2. Right? Like I need an extra like I need it. I've done that. But you're right, Pete. You're right, Pete. I mean, he has control in those 40 seconds, right? He calls the play. He has control to go up there and take as many depths as he wants before he needs to snap the ball. So you're right though, Pete. But I've told Peyton, not just Peyton, other quarterbacks too, Simeon, Brock. I've told Jared Goff that. And Jared Goff told me in the huddle, you a beast, you a beast. I said, bro, at the end of the day, just snap it at 2. I'll be ready to go once you snap it. Right? But I gotta get back right.
Right, but if you're the quarterback at that point, then just audible to a run, hand the ball off, get another 40.
Yeah, hand the ball off. Right. You take the play off, which obviously the GM don't want to hear this, but take the play off within the play.
Right.
No, there's ways to do that for smart players.
Yeah.
There's ways to do that.
No.
I have took some plays off within the play. Like Peyton throws the ball and I'm not bullshit jogging. I know I'm supposed to run to the ball just in case anything happened, but I'm BS jogging because I need to catch my breath from a play ago.
Yeah.
Well, you're not Randy Moss taking the play off, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, if you're a 10-year vet and you're a proven vet and you're a proven winner, and all of a sudden you're like, listen, something's wrong here. I'm having a tough time catching my breath. Whatever. Just say that in the press conference. Don't go in there and say I was just tired. I took myself out because I needed to catch my breath.
Brett said I was just tired. I ain't gonna lie.
That's
the first thing I said was you should have lied.
Yeah. Just say, listen, my left rib. I mean, I got something. You know?
Yeah, you already had a hip injury from earlier in the year. Like,
correct.
Use that. Like,
correct.
Yeah.
If you're not smart enough to do that, and that's your quarterback, you might have issues. I'm just saying. For now.
Hey, CJ, speaking of running back,
let me ask you this. So, can he regain the locker room?
Oh, Michael Pittman put something out there like he never lost it.
I get that. That's because Michael Pittman's trying to whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just for the world to see, but can he? Yeah, he can regain it. You can regain it. You can. I've had players regain it. Yeah, you can regain it.
Winning solves a lot of problems, doesn't it? Like if he starts winning games,
yes, solves everything.
But if Joe's winning,
yeah,
then he's not winning. Like I'm not saying you sit there and root for Joe's downfall. You want the team to win, but if Joe is winning,
no.
It's gonna be tough.
He's gonna be out for a while.
It's gonna be tough.
But in order to win games, he's gonna have to play. In order to play, he's gonna have to have players play for him, and that's called leadership. You know, I think one of the things that really, sort of pivoting back as we wind the show up here to Bo Nix and the Broncos is that Bo is showing great leadership. Even the one time that he got into it with Sean, say what you want, but I think he got some respect in the locker room for that.
Absolutely. But if Bo tapped his head and took the play off and let Zach Wilson come in for a play or whatever, or you burn the time, like how would the locker room look then?
Then he would have lost the locker room.
Yeah. So It's for a young guy like AR, and on top of the top comments that he said earlier in the year, whether people took out of context or not, he caught the NFL. Like, the NFL is easier to play. Like, to say that, and then how, like, your 8-9 games is not going as well as you want it to go, that's why he's getting the scrutiny.
Yeah.
And to say that our game is easy, which is absolutely not true.
Crazy.
Yeah, to say that and then to have the struggles that he has right now, that's why it's getting so much attention. That's what makes it tough.
Hey, speaking of making the game easy, I had a question for you, CJ, about Javonte Williams, and they got 8 games. I think it's 8 games left to play. Am I doing my math right? 9, maybe this week.
Yeah,
he's at 345 yards this year.
Little
700
700 yards and not.
Can he do it?
Big games.
Can he do it?
You're gonna need some big games.
Because I really think
No, sir.
You say no?
I'm telling you no.
I say
Sean,
yes.
I think Sean knows it's time to keep the ball away from the Ravens, and they're going to have a little bit more sustained drives.
They do too much by committee. He doesn't get. He doesn't get.
You're right.
If it was by committee, but he was getting 15 to 18 a game, I would tell you, okay, he has a chance. Yep. He's gonna have some games where he's gonna get 8-9 carries. That's just not enough unless he's making big runs.
I mean, with the extra game that they get now,
you're not listening. Too much by committee. You're not hearing me.
But if he starts breaking off runs, they'll keep him in there. They're going to play the hot hand,
right? But if he doesn't have the hot hand, it's too much by committee. Like, one thing, like the difference between Joe Mixon and Javonte. Joe Mixon, no, he walking in. I'm getting 20.
Joe had a day in the office last night.
But I'm just saying, he walks in saying, hot hand or not, 2 yards a carry or not, they're going to give it to me 20 times. That's all I'm trying to say. He's not worried about Bernard Pierce if he goes for one big long run. Joe is still finna get his 20. Devontae Williams is like, if I don't get this big run and, right, my young boys behind me, they get it, I'm in trouble. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Scott, you're with me. You're with me on this. I'm rooting for it.
You know what? CJ knows it too. Peter knows it. He's a good back.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you go into now scheming the Broncos, you're not worried about Bo Nix beating you with his arm. You're worried about stopping the run and controlling him in the pocket, plain and simple.
Yeah, don't let Bo Nix get outside. Yep.
Yeah, so they're walking guys up in the box. You know, if they had a quarterback that was like verified legit by other D coordinators in the league, and they have to worry about him throwing the ball, now the running game opens up.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm telling you, Javonte, I know he had the ACL, and I don't know if he's 100% back yet or what. I hope he is. But the guy's got some talent.
Bell cow back. I think he was when he drafted him. He was a bell cow back.
Whoa.
You don't think he was a bell cow coming out?
He ain't a BCB.
You don't think he was a bell cow coming out?
No.
What did you think then?
I'm with CJ, just so you know.
So wait, you think I was a bell cow back and I was undrafted?
No, you were not a bell cow back coming out. You became one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Bro,
you said he was a bell cow back coming out. No, he wasn't.
He's a second round pick. You're not drafting no guy in the second round pick if he can't carry the load.
And a good pick.
Right, like he went
damn good pick.
Like, come on, man. Like, I can name you all the second round supposed to be bell cow backs, even in my class. Le'Veon Bell, Monte Ball. Like, come on, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we hollering?
Monte Ball was not a bell cow back.
Absolutely, got beat out. But I'm just saying he was drafted in the second round to be that guy.
No, a bell cow back is a 3-down player. Eddie George, Jerome Bettis, Joe Mixon.
Why can't Javonte's the same guy?
Right, I'm trying to figure out where.
I don't know if he's the same
outside of the pass pro. He don't pass pro as well as we did.
Pass pro is part of it.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that's the only struggle weakness that he needs to work outside of. But like, bro, runs hard, runs with attitude, got great vision. What are we missing?
I'm with you. Big body.
Also, if he didn't have an ACL, like they drafted him in the second round to be
right
a bell
now,
cow
the Broncos
back.
do.
Didn't he get
The
the
weakness of the
trifecta
Broncos
with his
right
knee?
now is they don't have a bell cow running back.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they're trying.
I never said he wasn't. I said what he was supposed to be.
The rumors,
and he was on his way doing that his rookie year. Remember, he tore his ACL the next year. He was on his way to doing that.
Yep.
And I mean, I think the Broncos knew that they were in the market in the offseason, from what I knew, like to get a running back, like a Josh Jacobs. They were trying to get good running backs didn't want to come there because they didn't think they want to be a part of a rebuild.
Maybe they should have got Joe Mixon.
I didn't hear that. I never heard that.
You definitely didn't throw Joe to. You definitely didn't do that. I know you didn't do that. You made the right move, Pete.
Yeah,
no, he's in the right place, but
he's in the right place. But
that was one of your best moves in my lifetime.
Yeah, what about? Oh, he's in the right place, but what about had he been here?
He'd be doing great. But they still, but it's the right place, right fit, right
He'd
place,
have been
right fit.
here. He'd have been mad here. He'd have been mad here.
Oh, I heard that the Broncos were shopping to go get a veteran running back because they knew that room was.
Remember, Joe was a trade. Joe wasn't on the market. Joe got traded. Joe wasn't on the market. But
they were in the market for a running back, one way or the other.
Yeah, and I think because of the ACL, him coming back, all I'm saying is you don't draft a second round pick for him not to be a bell cow. I just don't believe that.
Yeah.
4th, 5th round pick, maybe, right? He grows it undrafted like me, we grow into it, maybe. But like, you don't draft second round pick running backs not to be the bell cow.
Hey, speaking of bell cow quarterbacks, what about Aaron Rodgers? Is he back?
There's no such thing as a bell cow quarterback. It's
now
running back.
Quarterbacks are taking themselves out of games now. I don't know what to think anymore.
All I know is
A-Rod looked good last night. He was terrible in the first half.
Do you know why they call it a bell cow?
Because he's running it 20 plus times, like CJ said.
No, because when you're on a farm, a cattle farm, there's one cow who's the bell cow, and they put the bell on the cow, that one cow, and when it's time to get milked, that he leads, and the rest of them just
everybody follows him because they hear.
And then when it's the chow time, the bell cow leads. And the rest of them.
I'm first generation city kid. I don't know.
Rob's a basketball coach.
I knew that. I grew up in the hood.
So here's a funny story though, CJ. It's a funny story. I've got one of my, I got a bunch of players that when they retire, I want to be the color guy. So one of them gets a color job, and he calls me up. I remember they were doing the Chargers game. I think maybe Chargers Broncos, and it was LaDainian Tomlinson. And then, he would always call me up and say, break it down, give me some key, clever words. So, on TV, he goes, well, you call LaDainian Tomlinson a bell cow. He goes, I got it. Bell cow, LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian makes a great run. He goes, boy, I'll tell you, LaDainian Tomlinson, he's a cowbell. Like, dude, you were so close.
Just killed yourself on national television.
There's a huge difference between bell cow and cowbell.
That's a fact.
That's 100% a fact.
That's a true story.
Oh man!
Hey guys, a lot going on this weekend. CJ, you came in a little bit late. I didn't give you my condolences for your Yankees yet, so my condolences for your Yankees.
Tough. Gotta give it up. Hey, you can't when you give up 5 unearned runs in one inning and you don't play championship baseball, like catch interference. You deserve to lose the game.
How hard is it for the first baseman to run to the bag? Let's go.
How hard is it the pitcher to run to the bag?
No, the pitcher's got to get there.
Right, it works both ways. Like
Rizzo can't move.
I'm just saying, come on.
I'm not mad at Rizzo more than I'm mad at GC. Like, get there.
Yeah,
right.
No,
obviously,
he's got to get there.
Then, right, like Torres, like botches the ball. Botches the ball to Jazz. Jazz doesn't scoop it. But we still have a chance to get out of the inning 5-1, and Garrett Cole starts running over there, then he stops. Like, at the end of the day, both of y'all go to the bag at the same time, right? Like,
and the thing is, CJ, in spring training, every day they work on that stuff.
Facts.
It's called PFP, pitcher's field in practice, every single freaking day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what are we talking about? This is the World Series of Major League Baseball. These guys know how to play baseball.
Obviously, we did not. We didn't play. We didn't play well. We didn't play championship baseball. No. That's why we deserve to lose the series the way we lost it. We win that, and we're going to LA tomorrow. We're playing in LA today. We're playing in LA today. It's an interesting series.
Hey,
100%.
CJ, all I gotta say about the Yankees is that at least the Yankees, like my Tigers, didn't win the World Series, so we're about even. So
that's fine. I think the big difference between us and y'all is we'll be in the playoffs again next year, and y'all be trying to find a way to get in. So.
We'll get there. We'll get there. A lot going on this weekend. CU's on a bye this week. What games are you guys looking forward to? There's like the big Ohio State Penn State game tomorrow morning, Oregon, Michigan. What are you guys looking forward to with games this weekend?
Me personally is Ohio State, Penn State. That's a big one now.
Can Jonathan Franklin finally do it?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to.
All right, he just has to do it.
Yeah,
I know the quarterback was hurt, but I think he is playing. Right?
he might play. He said he might play. But that's not the big difference maker. It's just the entire team, offense, defense, special teams. Because Ohio State, their quarterback's just a guy. I hate saying that on live TV or whatever we're on, but
he could grow into a prospect if he works hard, right, Scott?
He could turn into a bell cow quarterback eventually, right?
I don't think so, but he could be a good practice squad guy early and see what happens from there. But no, it's just I think that game's big just from the standpoint of national exposure, and like CJ said, with Franklin winning a big game, which he hasn't, he's won one like out of the last 10 against
he's
ranked
like
teams.
1-9. Yeah, he's 1-9 against ranked teams.
Yeah, I mean that's
crazy, right?
Well, it's just for the fan base and it's for the kids, the players, But it's going to be a hell of a game. I guarantee it. They're going to get after each other. They ain't going to back. They won't back down. I promise you that.
I got two for you, Rob.
Okay.
I got your boys versus Manny Diaz. I like Manny Diaz and Duke. Don't slip on Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz defense is solid.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Obviously, that's at the U. But another one that Game Day was supposed to do, Game Day pulled out of it. Man, that sucks for those kids. But Pitt versus SMU. That's going to be a good one. Pitt's undefeated. No one's talking about them. They're down in Dallas. Got to go play SMU. SMU is like trying. They got one loss.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not a throwaway.
That's gonna be a good game too. I'm interested in that as long as the big one with Ohio State. But I think Manny Diaz. I think that Miami and Duke game is gonna be closer than what people think.
It probably will be. Absolutely. Peter, what games are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, first of all, as you look at it, especially maybe we got a little spoiled after the last couple of weeks. There were just so many great games. There really aren't. Wow.
That's true.
I need to race home to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alabama versus Tennessee. I need to race home to watch Georgia versus Alabama. We don't have that this weekend. All right. So then you look at, what's interesting. So normally Air Force Army, I love the option against the option because
Navy, by the way, against Rice.
One of the things though when you're in college football is when you have to play, the reason Army and Navy are so successful, it's hard to practice against them. Teams actually, when they know they're going to be on the schedule, set aside a week in the spring. Like we're playing Navy in November. We are going to spend a week in the spring practicing against them because during the season you can't do it.
Yeah, it's just hard.
It's hard.
Can't get the time in, can't get the speed. Yeah, it's hard to simulate it.
Well, you also have to teach your guys how to run it.
That too.
You have to teach your scout teams how to run it. So now you have Air Force, Army. They both have the same scheme, so it's a little bit different. At least they're both going to be prepared for it, working on it. So I think that's an interesting game. And the other one, and you guys talk about Oregon, Michigan. I think you're just thinking back to at the beginning of the year that Oregon, Michigan would have been a big game. I don't think.
I think Oregon dog Michigan. I mean, Rob brought up Oregon, Michigan.
I think it's interesting because it'll be in the big house. I think that'll be.
If anything, if it's snowing on Oregon, maybe. But outside of that,
Chuck Stewart don't do well.
But the other two, and you always have to take the greatest cocktail party ever, Florida, Georgia, right? In Jacksonville, they call it the greatest cocktail party. That's always a heck of a game.
The greatest outdoor cocktail party.
Outdoor cocktail party, right?
The best indoors, the combine.
Correct, but anytime you have a game with a nick, usually the teams have the nickname, But you have the Oklahoma, Texas. When you have a game that has its own nickname, boom, there's something to it.
Yeah.
And then the other one, and people are sleeping on it, but Iowa State's still undefeated, and they got Texas Tech.
They are.
And if they can beat these guys and keep going undefeated, we're talking Iowa State. We're not talking Iowa. We're not talking big NIL.
Yeah. We got Iowa and BYU potentially in the Big 12 championship game.
But that
who would have ever thought that in the beginning of the year?
Right, and that undefeated.
Right, two undefeated teams.
And that coach is doing a heck of a job. And why he doesn't get people at NFL sniffs, I have no idea.
He's had chances. I've talked to his people. He don't want to leave.
But boy,
the NFL is a different beast, dog.
He's got.
Trust me. When my time come, Pete, you'll see me jump. But I know the league though, so it's different.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. But he's doing a really nice job.
Campbell. He's a really good coach. He's a really good guy too. But he's got a young family. He's got a wife. They like games. I talked to him.
Now in the NFL, we got some hard ones, right? We got Patriots and Titans, right? You got those are hard ones, right? You got Carolina and the Saints, right? Those are hard ones. And then you got Joe Burrow, who said we need to win 7 out of the next 9. Like, it's doable.
Well, I tell you,
he has the Raiders at home.
CJ, when you need to win 7 out of the last 9, the best way to do it is to win the first one on the schedule.
You got to win one at a time.
Let's focus on this Sunday, Joe. All right.
That's a good start.
You got to win one at a time for sure. So
the other on Sunday, the other interesting one, CJ, that I'm interested in is the Cowboys and the Falcons, and the Dolphins and the Bills.
I'm not really interested in Dolphin Bills. I shouldn't be close. Well, I ain't gonna say it shouldn't be close. All NFL games are close, but I mean, obviously, you got Packers Lions. That's a good one too. But the Dolphins Bills is not it. Now another one is Bears and Cardinals. The winner of this turns their season around, in my opinion.
They're both 4-4.
It's all right. They're still in it.
4-3, 4-4, like 5-4, 5-3. You're fighting for playoff spots. Bears.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. If the Bears win, right? Think about it. The Lions are 6-1. The Packers are 6-2. The Vikings are 5-2. And if the Bears win, they're 5-3. Everybody's right there in that division.
It is. There's a lot of parity.
With a lot of football left.
Yep.
But if that's the case, the Rams Seahawks winner.
Yes, that's another one. That's because of the division.
Yep.
This makes football starts in November, fellas. Welcome to the football season now. That's what we say in our locker room.
The Chiefs got a huge head start, right?
Yeah, the Chiefs got a great head start. Not a huge one, a great one. Without the best player playing his best.
I think right now the biggest disappointment this week is the schedule maker. I mean, we've had some really mediocre primetime games.
Imagine what Germany feel like. Look who they got to go watch. Imagine you waiting for football all year because you're tired of soccer, and then you get the Giants.
But that's cool though. Let's give away those games. Nobody wants them. They don't know.
Giving over the script.
It's like taking one of us to a fancy French dinner. We don't know.
That is true.
We don't know. Just give us what is that? Macaroni and cheese? What are you serving me?
Is macaroni and cheese with mushrooms on it? What are we doing?
What is that? Why did you ruin my macaroni and cheese?
Think about it, bro. They get the next weekend. They get the Giants and the Panthers.
Hey,
Germany.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Hey, if you don't have football is better than no football, right?
Correct.
Hey, that's my point.
Hey, guys. Hey, as we got to wrap this up, a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Do you miss Russell Wilson yet?
Nah, but he playing really well.
Boy,
he playing really well. The Pittsburgh. Who would ever thought Pittsburgh be where they at? He playing really well.
He is.
I did because Mike Tomlin's that kind of coach.
Oh, Mike Tomlin's dope now.
I already told you, Rob. I love him to death. He got me a Super Bowl ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This guy got a different. I don't like him because he took my ring. You know what I'm saying? So.
Nuggets versus T-Wolves tonight. Nuggets are back to 2-2. Were we worried about the Nuggets still, or are they back on track?
It's too early for basketball. Just go play.
Settle down. Settle down.
Hey, I'm definitely not watching Game 5 of 82-game season.
What? It's versus the Timberwolves. It'll be a good one. Avs versus Predators tomorrow. Avs are trying to get back to 500. Is the championship window closed for the Avs?
No, they have 6 of their top 9 forwards are injured. Come on.
I don't know nothing about that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, CJ, we understood. Why? Just stay quiet. At this part of the show, just stay quiet.
Hey, no, Peter. What, seriously? They're hurt?
Yeah, 6 and 9 forwards
they're
are hurt.
Yeah.
Why so early?
Try to go play.
The season just started. How are you hurt?
I don't know.
Training camp is that bad for the hockey?
Apparently.
Try to go play without.
Y'all out there smacking each other?
Try to go play without 2/3 of your starting offense in football.
No, it's awful.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, CJ, we talked about this briefly before you got on. The MLB World Series is over, but last Monday they beat Monday Night Football on viewership 13.64 to 13.4.
Hey, you got to beat it,
it's
baby.
Baseball back. We beat Monday Night Football.
I don't know if baseball's back, but I know that World Series was exciting, and that people wanted to go further than 5 games for sure, including me as a Yankee fan. But you got East Coast, West Coast. You always gonna have people pay attention to that.
LA,
I'm pretty
New
sure.
York.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last year no one was really watching the Rangers.
Correct.
Hey, starting Monday, I know CJ, you love this. College basketball's back.
Let's go, baby.
NCAA college basketball. Let's go, Duke.
Hey, when I'm a Duke fan. How do you know that? How'd you know
I'm
that?
a Duke fan. I'm a huge
Okay,
Duke
we're
fan.
on the same
Yeah,
page.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll
You
tell
know I
you
like
this.
you for a reason, CJ.
I'll tell you this. When Cooper Flag come to the Bay Area, I'm at the game. You know what I'm saying?
do
When they play Cal, I'm there.
Scott, are you a big college hoops fan?
Love it. Love it.
Let's
much
go.
Much more than the NBA. Much more.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got some big games for Duke coming up. I am excited. Plus, this week or last week was the start of junior high basketball. Let's go Front Range Falcons.
Okay, Falcons. Yeah, we need
go.
y'all to do it. So you started your practices and stuff, huh?
Oh, we've been practicing for a month. We had our first game on Wednesday.
Okay, go get the dub, Rob.
Yo, we got 3 games next week. It's
we gonna
game
ask
time.
you on the list what the score was and what's going on. So don't lie to us.
Hey, I'm the head coach of our mid-level team because we do it by skill level. We lost by 4 on Wednesday, but we played great. You know what? First time playing together as a group against, first game. I'm pretty happy with our crew. So I'll take it.
What do you got to do? Hey, real quick, Rob and CJ. I'm always watching college basketball. Find me a tight end.
Okay, I can do that.
A tight end.
I mean,
Okay.
if Cooper Flag wasn't finna be the round 1 pick one for the NBA draft next year, I would tell you he's the guy. But he's gonna be round 1 pick one.
I want Antonio Gates. So I'm looking for.
I got one. His name is LeBron James.
He might
He's a little long in the tooth.
Hello.
I'm telling you, LeBron James.
Oh, he could have been one, 100%.
Except for if I had drafted him, I might have put him at defensive end, though.
It's a power forward. I got to give you his name. It's a power forward at Miami, though.
Really?
I don't know if he'll make the switch, but yeah, he can. It's a power forward at Miami. Who got the size and the build?
That's
I gave you his name. His number is 16, I think. I saw him play last year, and I was like, this dude will be a good football player.
Well, the thing about CJ is they have good footwork, as you're well aware. They're playing hoops.
Right.
They got good hand-eye coordination, ball skills.
Yep.
Now the whole key, are they tough enough to do
tough enough to come play? Yeah.
So you probably want a guy that played high school football, someone that knows the game, someone's taking some hits, got some calluses.
Sure.
So,
but I'm telling you, they're out there. They're
out
there.
And their future in football is way more promise than the future in basketball.
With basketball, you got what? You're keeping 15 guys.
Well, you got to be skilled to play in the NBA. That's just real.
Football, you just got to get out there and just be an athlete and
figure it out.
Do what you do. Yeah.
Right.
I think you're spot on. I think basketball players are better athletes than football players. That's for sure.
Well, not
all.
What's
that?
I'm not gonna agree with that.
Hey, Peter. Here's something. I got a couple of.
When they do their 40, when they do their vertical jump, they like run and take a step. We actually stand still and jump straight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. They're cheating, CJ. They're cheating.
We're always cheating. Peter, I got 2 lacrosse players on my basketball team. They are probably my 2 best athletes too. Lacrosse players transition to basketball incredibly well.
Don't tell Peter that.
That's just a redundant statement.
I'm just acknowledging something that we all know.
That's just a redundant statement. I'm not even, come on.
Wow.
Every time I hear one of my guys plays lacrosse, I'm like, do you guys play Denver East? Do you guys play that? When do you guys play?
South.
Denver South. Sorry, I don't know. One of the Denver.
I know we're wrapping up. I do got a question before we get our final thoughts. Gavin's out there for lacrosse, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it all starts in the spring.
He's in Mount St. Mary's.
I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see him do his thing.
Let's
great.
go.
All right, guys. As we wrap this up, parting thoughts. Peter Schaefer, your thoughts going into Week 9? Anything we should know?
No, I think this is the Broncos. They played Tampa. You didn't know how great they were. They blew them out. They've blown out some teams that they shouldn't. They've blown out some teams that they should. This is going to be a heavyweight fight. Let's see if they're for real. I really again think that Vance Joseph is going to make a difference, and he's going to be able to stop Lamar Jackson, and that game's going to be a lot closer, and it could go down to the wire.
Scott, parting thoughts going into Week 9.
Let CJ go next. I want to go last.
CJ, party thoughts going into Week 9.
I think VJ has a tough task, but VJ is definitely in for it. And sorry, Mike Bloomgren, that you got fired. But 2 years ago, I tried to keep it real with you, and you didn't want to listen. So shout out to the Rice AD for making that right move.
Hey,
Wow.
CJ, another quick question
Yeah,
for
you
you.
know me, man. I'm gonna keep it real always.
Scott, final thoughts going into week 9.
I wonder what the hell is on Peter's T-shirt.
It's a lacrosse bear.
No.
From
Get
where?
that, no. Get a little more.
That looks like a bear. So if you telling me it's a
No.
different animal, you need to fire the designer.
This is the Grateful Dead bear, because the drummer passed away this week with a lacrosse stick.
Okay.
Phil Lash.
How did
Grateful Bear.
that? Tell me how did that connect? We got
This
2
is
minutes.
the Grateful
You got
Dead
2 minutes to
bear.
explain that. You got
This
till
is-
1:12 to explain that one.
Grateful Dead bear with a lacrosse stick.
I don't question anything Grateful Dead. Those people come up with random crap for whatever reason. So I'm not gonna
Yeah,
question
because they're
that.
smoking dope all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna question
They're
it.
way
Not-
past
Hey.
dope. They're way past dope. I saw Scott. I saw this. Someone sent me a thing of the drummer Lash, and he was testifying. I guess at Jerry Garcia's estate hearing, and the lawyer says, "Well, can you remember back, 30 years ago, when they were drafting up his will?" He goes, "To be honest with you, the last 30 years are a little hazy."
Hey CJ, do you
and
remember?
so the judge says, "Well, how hazy?" Well, it's just all a bunch of smoke to me right now.
Hey CJ, do you know who the defensive coordinator for the Ravens is?
The young kid he was talking about? I do not.
I think he's the one that we actually all got to worry about. I think the Broncos are going to put us some points on the Ravens. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think we're going to have a lot of points
You
on
think you
Sunday
got
morning.
like Joe Burrow shootout that they had earlier in the year?
I'm just saying, like
No way.
everyone's like, "Oh, can we stop the Ravens?" Like, no, you know what? I think the Ravens got to worry about stopping us. I think that's their worry. I think that's what we're. I think
I love you being a fan. I don't know if you saw my tweet. Fans, I enjoyed what the Yankees did for me as a fan. But to sit there and disrespect other people in the sport, I would never do that. That's what you're doing right now.
I'm not just. I think we missed the part of the conversation. I think that we've been putting up points. They got to figure out their defense is weaker. I think we're gonna turn some heads in Baltimore and put up some points and make Lamar keep up with us instead of us keeping up with Lamar.
We'll see.
So that's
the game on Sunday.
That's why they play the game. I think it's a benchmark game for us going into the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. So
I know the Ravens are very mad that the game that they lost last week that they should have won, and it is sucked that they take it out on the Broncos.
They may.
And it's on the road too. That's a tough place to play. As we
It's a tough place to play out there. It's a tough place to play in Baltimore.
We'll be fine. I'm cautiously optimistic, guys.
That's all right. Good for you,
guys. I appreciate the time today. It was fun. Peter, thanks for getting Trevor on here with us.
Trevor's the man.
He was fun.
TP good, man. I love watching him play too.
He's actually directing a film right now. He broke away from the film. He's creative as all get up. He's amazing.
Wow.
Hey,
Pete,
by the way,
thank you for being a Cal fan. I'm just gonna say your lacrosse shirt is a Cal bear. You going for the Cal lacrosse team this year. So I'm just gonna say that.
Hey guys, are we watching the game on Sunday together at 11 o'clock?
It's up to y'all. It's 10 o'clock my time.
Peter, are you in?
I'm a team player.
Scott, are you in?
I'm in.
All right, let's do it. We'll watch the game together. Follow us along Sunday morning, 11 o'clock kickoff for the Ravens Broncos. It'll be fun. It'll be a high-scoring game.
LFG, boys. LFG.
So, all right, we'll see you guys soon.
Later.
Peace, fellas. Good seeing you.